Hello, I'm Sharon from Sizzix, and today I want to make a birthday card for Hochanda. Hochanda is 4 years old, so we're going to make a 4th birthday card for Hochanda. And as you can see, it's a lovely sort of folk art type design, and I've kept the background subtle. We're going to be using this fabulous stencil set, which is called Folk Art Stencil. This is a fabulous background. You can also use it as a stencil, of course. But for this card, I wanted something a little extra in the background, so I thought if I do it in white on white, it's just a nice subtle background. So I'm going to run that through my Big Shot, and I would recommend taping it down. Because this is a very intricate design, you might want to flip it and die cut it a couple of times. So if you tape it down, you know it's not going to move as you do that. I'll tape it at the top and bottom to my plate, and then we'll run that through, like so. And what I usually do with these intricate dies is I run it back and forth, and then I flip it over and do the same thing, just to make sure I've got all those details. By doing that, you just get slightly different pressure on the machine in different areas, so make sure you cover it nicely. And now I've done that, all the pieces should just fall out. Now there are a lot of pieces in this, so it does take a couple of minutes just to get all the bits and pieces out, but most of them will just fall out, and then I can use my pokey tool to get the rest. Like so. Now if you wanted to, you could cut this again from different colours and piece the elements back in. That gives a really nice effect. But for this one, I just want a bit of a subtle background, so I'm just going to keep it quite simple. And then I'm just going to use some PVA glue to stick this to my card front. Let's move those bits out of the way. Let's grab some glue. So I'll just pop some glue, first of all around the edges, and then I'll just put a few dots here and there. Like so. And then line that up. If there are any bits that you feel are sticking up a little, just add some glue underneath. And it gives a really nice tone-on-tone background. So now I've got my background ready, I can start to assemble the main feature, which is this beautiful floral element. The die set we're using for this is the Folk Art Element set. And this has got a really great selection. You can put all the pieces together in colour, you can take out elements. I'm just going to use the central piece here for this frame, and then I'm going to use one of the flowers to add into the centre. So let me grab my original so I can remember what I'm doing. So the first element is, what I'll do is I'll do each colour. So if I start with the blue, for the blue I need this frame and the inside pieces of the flower, so I might as well run those two things through at the same time. So I've got my frame and the floral, and this is the Sizzix card I'm using. It's textured on one side and smooth on the other. For this I'm going to have the textured side because I think it just gives a nice extra bit of interest, so I'll run that through. And it does help to plan ahead. If you think about which elements you're going to use from which colour, you can cut all those pieces at the same time. And actually, if you're doing quite a bit of die cutting, that really does make quite a bit of difference to the time. So I actually only need the centre pieces of those blue the blue flower, so I'll leave that there for a second. Then I want, from the purple, you can see from my card, I've got the actual flower and the insert frame. So, got some purple card, we've got the flower again, and then this piece that slots inside. So we'll run that through. And then lastly, we've got green, and all we need from the green are those 2 leaves. So that's my flower. So we'll grab the leaves from the green, and you've got both of the leaves on one die, and scrap a green, and we'll run that through. Like so. And I did already die cut a white square to slot inside that, which is somewhere amongst all my pieces here. Here it is. So now I can start to assemble this. So the first thing is to pop the blue down, and what I'm going to do is just use some PVA glue. Because the background's textured, I find a wet glue works best. And I've noticed there are a couple of bits there to pop out. You've got those lovely little circles in the corner, so pop those out. And then we've got the purple frame, and inside that goes the white piece. So we'll just pop this out of the die like so. Again, PVA glue is probably the easiest for this. Just put a few dots around the edge, like so, and then the white piece sits nicely inside, like so. And then for the flower, so I want the purple flower, but I want blue for the inside. So if I just pop these pieces out, I can put my flower on. When you do this, just put the glue in the centre for now, because, and you can do a couple on the sides, but I want to be able to tuck those leaves in, so I don't want to stick it down completely, because we can tuck the leaves underneath now, like so. And then when I put the blue pieces in the centre, you won't see that. Now, what have I done with my other leaf? Buried it amongst all the things. Right, we'll put the blue bits in, and then if I can't find my leaf, I'll just quickly die cut another one. So the easiest thing for these is to pop them all out, like so, and then just put a tiny dot in each aperture, like so. If you've got a pickup tool, use that. Another good tip actually, if you don't have a pickup tool, is just get some of that tacky stuff that you use to put your posters up on the wall. Put that on the end of a pencil or something, and it's perfect for picking up small pieces of card. There we go, and I need them to be the right way up. One more. So, and we've got one more somewhere. There it is, stuck on the back. So that's my flower. Let's have one last look for my leaf. If not, we'll do, oh, it might still be under the die actually. Yes, there it is. And we'll tuck that one underneath as well. Just a dot of glue behind. And that's really effective. These colours work really well together. So the last touch for this card is to add my For Today sentiment, and I've already prepared that. I've used some die cuts. It was a set that we had out last year. I did bring it along to remind myself. It's called Brush Numbers, and you get the numbers and the today. So of course we've got For Today. And the banner is actually from this die set that we're using, the folk art elements. There is a lovely, oh actually no, it's the one, the background one, the folk art stencil. You get this fabulous banner, which is really useful for sentiment strips. So I've already added some foam pads on the back. So if I pop those off, and then I can lay that on top of the design, work out where I want it so it's nice and straight, pop it in the corner, and there's my finished card. Perfect for Hochanda's birthday.